Hello and welcome to the Dead Air Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka, and just to let everybody know that Izzy woke me up because we both were watching the series finale of the AMC tragedy, otherwise known as The Walking Dead.
Indeed. Now, this is going to be probably a post mortem on The Walking Dead. We're not going to go into all the detail and the minutia of the last episode, except for a couple tidbits here and there, as well as the final season, which was.
I'd like to amend that. This is a forensic exhumation because they've been dead a long time ago.
Yeah, it's they've been dead people walking for a very, very long time. A once proud show, a very good show from the beginning when Darabont and Kirkman and Scott Gimple, even at that point, were in charge. When you had Shane and Rick and Michonne and Herschel and Lori, right?
And they originally started off very close to comic book canon.
I look, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that's gonna be like, okay, the comic say this, so just because it's not part of the comics, it sucks. Okay, we all know that.
No, but the opposite is true here. It actually worked better because Daryl's a new character altogether.
There were many changes in the books from the book
Huge.
to the show. In
Huge.
particular, you have, and this is spoilers because the books are done also. So, and obviously the show is done, thankfully. Well, or is it? But we'll get to that later on.
Oh, we will.
One of the biggest changes you have Andrea, who died in early on in the show,
Season 2.
to survived almost near the end in the books. And it's Andrea who hooks up with Rick and not Michonne. Okay. Not to mention, Rick loses a hand in the comics and he's fully functional. And you have Morgan who dies in the comics. You have, countless number of characters who die in the comics. As Rocka mentioned, you have Daryl who doesn't even exist in the comics. Carl survives in the comics. Matter of fact, he is
heir apparent.
Exactly the heir apparent to everything. And he marries whom or who?
Is Lydia?
No, Sophia.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Who died in what? Season
1 or 2? 1.
Season 1.
Season 1 at the farmhouse.
Well, the farmhouse. I'm not sure. So Andrea was probably season 3.
It doesn't, yeah, but you know what? It doesn't matter.
It was early on, yeah. So
it don't matter. Let's
the bucket early on in the comics. Well, point is, everything is different except for the main storylines. Well, we're talking about the Whisperer. You're talking about Negan. You're talking about, the governor.
Reapers.
Commonwealth. All right. Rocket. Go ahead. Spew.
All right. Okay. If you can identify one iceberg that the ship of the Walking Dead Titanic hit, is it pre-Negan?
No, I think there were two enormous issues. 1 second, guys. All right, there were two glaring issues that I think The Walking Dead where it dropped the ball. One, definitely the governor and that whole thing, albeit it was probably one of the better storylines of the better seasons. It might have gone maybe a little too long. But definitely Negan, that shit was way too long. It took way too long for it to complete. But three seasons, I think it was. Where you will they or won't they, Negan have him in the crosshairs, and then you can hit a zombie from freaking from 300 feet away, and you miss Negan. It's just really really bad. As much as I like Jeffrey D. Morgan in the role, as much as I enjoyed Negan, as much as the eeny meeny miny mo, the brain bashing scene. As
I
great as
love that scene. I thought they were on the way to come back. I take the road that I love the Negan scene. I embrace his introduction. I thought he was going to be the pinnacle apex bad guy and take the story arc into a what I was waiting for, super dark and twisted humanity. Instead, it got the polar opposite. We got a soap opera zombie, whatever you want to call it. And it went from showing his weak side and his soft side and his wives, and he's trying to do good for the people. And then you get the whole uh, uh, three communities and the tears and second thinking. Oh, and they spent way more time with everybody who's hooking up with somebody else.
yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, which I get it. After Gimple left, you had geez, I forgot her name.
Lang,
Yes,
and
Angela
Angela Lang,
Wang or Lang, whatever.
Lang, I think.
She took over, and they had mentioned that it was going to be a little more lighter in tone, a little more, a little more.
And why? It's a horror zombie apocalypse.
Oh,
If you didn't even go Reapers and you didn't even go, Commonwealth at the end, but if you didn't go that way and you stay with Negan, basically, in my opinion, now you really deviate from the storybook and the graphic novel, and you make him implode, and you make others get to the most basic, primitive, savage reaction. This is where humanity should have went. Instead, what you have in this series is, and this is the spoiler, everybody, what you have here is a very rushed showing of humanity reverting back to the way we were before the apocalypse in terms of politics, society, class system, separation, wants, haves, have nots, upper echelon class using money, which is another ridiculous mindset, and control. I'm sorry, I didn't want to see that.
no, the whole sub story with the lawyer, and then
Oh, the Better Call Saul version.
yeah, I mean, I'm like, dude, and then you knew what was gonna happen, that he was a bad guy, and he did, bro. You gave me almost three. It was like 3 seasons in one of just who gives a shit.
It was boring as hell.
And then on top of that, the show was ending, and you don't even give me. You give me what? You give me three. I think like 3 deaths. You give me Rosita. You give me
Minor characters.
Well, Rosita, I guess towards the end was a major character. You give me Rosita. Did Lydia survive after she got bit?
No, they cut the arm off.
Yeah, but she survived.
I think she survived.
All right, so then boom. Now Ezekiel's dying. And we don't even get that. And mind you, I'm an Ezekiel fan.
No, he's made a remarkable recovery because he's now the man in charge.
He so
didn't he have colon cancer or something?
The funny guy, the music teacher, he also died. So I mean, and you have I think I forgot the kid's name. Who also you had only like 3 or 4 characters who died. So the payoff, and I'm not saying that we're there to watch them, but I mean you're in a dangerous situation. You're in a world. It's been going on for 12 years, at least 12 seasons, well, almost 12, 11 seasons, whatever, 11 seasons plus various spin-offs and more to come. And it's just,
first of all, who signs off on that shit? Knowing the disaster, The Walking Dead, Fear Walking Dead, The Teenager Walking Dead, how all of them just completely sucked. Who signed off on another few I mean, they are so detached with what public
Sold
public
in
is.
characters. So then you're telling me that you ended a show, okay, that was doing great in the ratings, okay, and it not only jumped over the shark, it ate the shark, you know, and it was just kind of sputtering along like Rick was when he got impaled by that rebar in season whatever 8 or whatever the fuck it was, you know.
All right, before we move on to those soon to be dumpster fires
How about this?
series, the
Before.
whole Maggie Negan relationship.
It's bullshit.
Not only is it bullshit and so hard to believe, I don't know how two respected actors can look at the script and say, "Oh, we're gonna pull this off." Tell me you didn't want to see what you should have seen, which is Maggie take savage revenge
Yeah.
on fuck the betterment of society, fuck the betterment of Hilltop and all the other communities. I have this mother dead to rights, and he already sold me off to get killed
Yeah.
in the first episode. Are you out of your mind? Who writes this?
And
There's
now
still zombies out there. It's still a world of horror fest.
you're gonna have me watch a whole series of them
Them together, working together in Manhattan.
and watch and then probably hooking up or something. And now, that's just me. That's just me saying that. But I mean, it's Walking Dead, so you got to have some hanky panky there. Gee, hanky panky. How old am I? But it's just so out of tune. Out of come on, man.
I mean, I almost puked when they were going to work together, collaborate, not even just kiss and make up.
Freaking with when love of Daryl's life comes back and they're a bunch of religious zealots, and I'm like, what in the blue hell was that? Like,
They dropped the ball so hard on Daryl. They could have made him into some kind of epic Conan type Luke Cage.
They paid him well. You know what? I hope they all got paid well because yeah, and Andrew Lincoln wants to come back to this.
I guess it didn't work out in other facets of what he claimed. But and now he's not doing a spin-off series. It's a movie, correct?
No, it's a series. You have a Rick and Michonne series, which right now it's called Rick and Michonne. I don't think it has an official title yet. You have the Maggie Negan, love fest, which is called Dead City, which the only way to watch it is because it's supposed to be set in New York, which I'm pretty sure they probably use Vancouver or Toronto or something, which is fine. But
it's all fair game now because apparently Daryl's gonna get on a paddle boat and make his way to France.
No, you know what? He's going to use his bike and he's going to ride his bike, and somehow on the bike he's going to put those like skis, those water skis on the bike, and he's going to take dog with him or get another dog, call him dog 2, and they're gonna swim to France.
Even better, while
What's
bodies of zombies on top of each other make a land bridge of zombies to get over the channel.
The only thing that is mentioned that there's a rumor that France is where
it all started.
So, whatever, man.
If the interest level from the first 3-4 seasons is a 10 out of 10, and then the whole Negan thing shot it in the pants, and they went down to 5 out of 10, and the last 2 seasons it's now 2 or 3 out of 10. What do you think the interest of the next spin-offs are going to be?
Dude, I gotta be honest. For me, I'm interested for the simple fact.
Whoa.
How you're in, and this is terrible, but this is human nature. How your interest lies when you see an accident and rubbernecking and everybody that you're looking at to see what happened. That is how I feel about these upcoming shows. I want to watch them with bated breath the beginning and see how bad. I'm gonna hate watch, which is terrible to say, and I'll be right here talking shit about it right afterwards, or eating my shoe if it.
Let me ask you and the listening public out there, which again, thanks for liking, subscribing, all you guys. You should have said that from the get go. But you know who you are, and we love you. How much you think per episode it costs AMC to make per episode of The Walking Dead?
I think that they've got it down to a science to the point where they were filming like seasons like almost back to back. They were doing them. They were churning them out like crazy. So I think,
really milking staff.
yeah, they were really. It was like they had one season going. They were filming the other one already. It was like they only had really like freaking like what 3-4 months off, and they were just like boom, 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 boom.
You know what's crazy? The first season, it cost $3.4 million per episode.
Wow.
They have scaled back, and it shows because I've heard some rumblings about really bad special effects lately. 2.75 million per episode.
Towards the end.
Towards the last season. Third.
Hold up. I mean, look.
Oh,
You can tell what they were doing.
exactly.
I get the CGI. CGI is expensive, probably even more expensive than the practical effects. So fine, but they probably got hired less people, or you have a couple animators or CGI guys. I apologize if I'm saying it wrong, but especially people. And
Norman this gets $1 million per episode.
Good for you.
He better get 10 million for what's coming next. Because I mean, unless he wanted to branch out and do his own thing in other episodes.
It was disappointing. It was ridiculous. The last episode, the last season was just.
Last season, I'd say the last 3, COVID notwithstanding.
Talking about it was going great, Herschel to the governor, to all that. Then you come in, then what was after that? You had Terminus, right? You had Terminus. Keep going. You're doing good. You're doing good. Alexandria. All right.
Still Negan. Good.
Negan was great.
Negan was great. I thought that was one of the most anticipated cliffhangers, and then it's a vertical drop.
You stretch Negan so much that then it kind of teeters down. Then you actually have a little bit of a bump up with the Whisperers. I actually thought that was going to be, at least the beginning was like, okay, all right. But then nothing happens. Nothing happens in a world where everyone gets eaten by zombies.
The highlight of that whole thing was Negan getting it on with Alpha.
I the Jesus death was pretty cool. I mean, geez, but you have, doesn't fucking matter. All in all, out of 10 for the whole series. Well, all right.
We'll go for the finale. We can't do the entirety because it's so polar. It's so good to so.
I give it a 2 out of 10. I give it.
The last season, 1.5 because of basic nostalgia.
2 out of 10 last episode. The whole last season was probably, I'd say, below a 2. It was bad.
Again, the writing was
Maggie. So... But besides that, I mean, y'all can suck it.
And then to wrap it all up, the way they sped through the last, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, when they were 10 years later or 5 years later, or whatever the hell it was, and how it's all hunky-dory, cheery, everybody's planting gardens and getting along, and then this one is going off to Sunset for that mission, and that one's being led to this country, and that one's overseas, and here comes Rick throwing a freaking message in a bottle. I mean, shoot my eye out. Oh my goodness. Oh, from where this started with Rick waking up in a hospital, in gurneys with dead bodies, the doors, the darkness, the match, the suspense in the tank firing the thing, the walkie-talkie with Glenn. Epic to this garbage. You know what? I've convinced myself. I'm saying it's a 1. If we keep talking, it's going down.
You know what? Yeah, I mean,
it's a 1. It's a 1. It's a 1.
You know that the creators changed throughout the whole series, and the executive producers and people in charge and whatever. But yeah, the show was
say it. The money men took over, and they shot the bed.
And now you have another at least 3 new series, maybe more. Because you have Fear the Walking Dead, you still got the other New World thing, and if we have the Tales from the Crypt or the Tales from which that's abysmal. That is an abysmal series.
Tales for you, for all our fan base listening, I'm nominating this last season of The Walking Dead to our yearly Deader Dudes Awards, which is coming shortly as we wrap up the end of 2022. And I nominate the last season of The Walking Dead to our Dumpster Fire series of the year. Please tune in the next 2-3 coming weeks as we present to you the Deader Dudes 2022 awards, which includes Best Picture, Best Horror, Best Soft Drink, Best Beer, Best Wimpy Performance, and on and on and on and on and on.
So, I guess there's not much else to say.
Not much at all. Remember to all like and subscribe. Thank you for your support, your feedback, and everything else. Little footnote. Thank you to all the listeners and supporters who acknowledge the passing of Christine McVie, in prominent singer, songwriter, performer of the famed group Fleetwood Mac. Our hearts and wishes goes out to the family and friends of her. And again, remember to save the whales and be vigilant out there.
Take care, guys. I'm Izzy.
I'm Rocco. Save the whales.
Take care.